Everyone, good morning and welcome to ASPOT Office Hours live health sessions. This is where you can ask your quick question regarding ASPOT and get live help. We also do different live builds to show you how ASPOT tools can work in real use cases. And for today's build, we will be creating an AI business model generator. And the idea for this is someone fills out a short form about their skills, their interest, budget, and time, and the AI instantly generates business ideas that are tailored to them. And what I love about this, it's just how lightweight this build is. I mean, it's literally just a few questions, one AI prompt, and then you've got a really valuable tool that you can use as a lead magnet. You can also use it as a client tool, or maybe just something that you can add to your website as an interactive AI tool. And while we're building it, I'll show you also how to connect a simple automation to it so that when someone submits the form, it will send a copy of their results and then logs them into a Google Sheet as a lead. So basically, you're not just generating value, you're also capturing useful data that you can follow up with. So the whole thing, can just take, I think, about 15 to 20 minutes to set up. So it's a great example of how fast you can build this AI power tools in Aspa. So let's go right in and I'll show you guys how to build this. First things first, let's go to Aspa and create the IntelliForm. So let me just click create here and then click on IntelliForm, and then let's just name this AI business model generator. And now when we go inside, so this is the first thing that we will see. So I'll try to keep this as quick and as simple as possible. And then after, I'll show you guys how to set up the automation. So let's do that by, let me just approve this. Okay, cool. Now let's just put the title in here. So AI business model generator. And then we will be collecting input, which is first input will be their full name. So we need to collect their name and also their email so that later we can just simply set the automation up with those fields that we have collected. Now let me go ahead and add email over here. So this one is going to be email underscore address. And then let's just say enter your email address here and then save that. Okay, cool. And then the next one is the input questions that we need to add in here. So let's use that, click inside. And for the unique ID, let's make sure to set the unique ID that's related to the label and also a helper text. And then I'll be using a text area for this. Okay, and save changes. Cool. Now, next question is what industries or topics interest you the most? So I'll be using another input field for that. And then just put that right here. Let me also put the label. And then also the placeholder and also our helper text. So let's just make sure that is selected. Okay, great. So now we have our first two questions, and then let's ask another input question. So like what I said earlier, this is going to be a straightforward form that they can fill out, and then the AI result will generate the business model ideas. So let's just put out a placeholder, a helper text, and then let's make that another text area right there. Okay, cool. And then lastly, so this is the last question that we will put in here. We don't want to make this too complicated. So let's click inside and add our unique ID and then the label, which is how much time can you dedicate to building this business. And then let's just add that. And then the helper text. Okay, make sure that's saved. All right, so here's the entire thing. Let me just make sure we got everything in place. And let's also put think it's best to put a separator in here, right there. Okay, great. And make sure to save that again. And okay, so now what we are going to do next is add our prompt builder. Let me just grab my prompt right here and make sure to paste that in this section. Sorry about that. There you go. So first, of course, we describe to the AI what its role is. So you are an experienced startup strategist and business advisor. Your task is to analyze the user skills, interest, available budget, and time commitment, and then generate realistic business opportunities that match their situation. And then here's the user input data. And then it will generate three personalized business ideas that the user could realistically start. So here's also a few important output rules. So do that include greetings, so that they'll say sure, hey, something like that. And then start immediately with the first business idea. And also here's kind of like the concept of how the AI output should look like. So it should have the business idea name and then the concept, why this fits the user, the monetization strategy, the first three steps to start, difficulty, and also the difficulty level. So we also wanted to focus on realistic, practical opportunities that could be launched with the user's available resources. Okay, so now let's make sure that is saved, right? And then for now, let's see what else we can enable in here. Let's make sure this one's set to 4.0. And I think that's basically it. That's the entire form. Now let's click preview and let's just start testing it. So let's just put in the real email right here. And then just say coding and then um AI AI and tech. Just say and also time availability. Okay, so now it's preparing results. Okay, let's just wait for that a little bit. Okay, great. So now it was able to provide us with a few business ideas, I think up to three. So yep, I think it was able to follow our prompt. So now what we're going to do is that we are going to connect this tool with make.com so that when someone submits the form and then gets this AI result, this exact result right here, it will send a copy to their email address, and then it will also log their information into a Google Sheet as a lead. So now let's try doing that. First things first, you have to make sure that you have a make.com account that is like a work email. I've tried to use my personal email for make.com before. My email, kimberlyamio@gmail.com. So that didn't really work. But when I used my Aspot email, so that did work correctly when it comes to setting up the connections inside make.com. So it's completely free to use. So it's completely free. You can just sign up right now and you have like free automations that you can build. I think you can build up to how many, I mean, there's no limit actually to how many automations you can build inside make.com. And I like to use this as a starting point when it comes to building simple automations and, connecting them to Aspot. So I already tested this earlier, but I'll show you guys how we can build this from scratch. So when you first sign up to make.com, you'll see this like screen right here. And you'll want to go to over here to scenarios, or if you want, you can just simply click on create scenario. Okay, so now you're going to see this screen where it says the plus icon, right? Now, when you click this, you'll see this option right here where it says webhook. So remember, the only connection that we can create from Aspot, or we can, set up the transferring of data from Aspot is through webhooks. So let's click that and click on custom webhook. So if you use custom mail hook, that will not work. If you use webhook response, that will not work. Let's make sure to trigger it when the webhook receives data. So let's click that. Now click on create a webhook. We can also name this however you want. We can just name this for the IntelliForm tool business model generator, something like that. Just so you know which tool is using this specific webhook. So you can just label that inside make.com if you want. And if you have any question, guys, while we're building this, do let me know. I'm not an expert on make.com, but I am using it for Aspot. So if you have any questions at all, you can just put that also in the chat, or you can unmute your mic. That's fine too. Now let me just copy the address to clipboard. And this is the exact URL that we will use to set it up inside Aspot, to set up the connection inside Aspot. So that will be under webhooks, the section right here, and then click the plus icon. Idiot generator, IntelliForm. Okay, so I don't think we can put that. And then you can just put a short description on, which is this for. And as you can see over here, you also have a few guides on how to set up the connection. You can use Pabbly, you can use Zapier, you can use Make.com, and you're not really tied to these platforms. As long as the platform you use host or has webhook, you can definitely use that also. So let's go to webhook URL. This is where I pasted that link that I got from make.com. So that webhook connection link, this is where you will paste that. And then select the event type to IntelliForm. So user info is mainly when you're collecting information from a lead form. And then chats is when you're collecting, the chat conversation on a chatbot, on a canvas, or on a spotlight. So you can just use chats for that. But since we're using IntelliForm, let's make sure to select that. And over here on the drop down, just select the form that you built. I'll just do that right now. And then what you're going to want to do is click on send sample data. So now when you click on this, it will say here successfully determined. If it does not say successfully determined, that means there's a problem with the connection between the two. But as you can see, I think we're good with that. Now let's click save. And let's just make sure to add another module. So for this one, so our step is we will be connecting 1 second. We will be connecting make.com. Sorry. So we will be using the webhook and then we will be adding them to Google Sheet. So let's add them to Google Sheet first before we send them an email. So let's do that right now. This will be the Google Sheet that I will be using for this. 1 second. Let me just make a copy. And there you go. Awesome. And then, so this will be the exact Google Sheet that we will be using for this. So when it comes to building the automation or building the exact step, I like to make sure to get all of the assets ready first. So for example, you want to like put the leads inside the Google Sheet, right? You're gonna want to make sure that you already created the Google Sheet inside your account that is connected to make.com, or else you'll have like a hard time looking at where you put the sheet information. So let's just make sure that this is already set up inside our accounts. And then now over here, it will ask you to map it out. So that's why I said it's best to have this prepared first before going over here, because now you'll have to map it out. So click here to choose the file. And I think I put it under the AI result copy folder. Let's click inside that and then click the plus sign again to select the exact sheet. So I think this is the right one. AI business model generator, live obsession. Yep, that's it. So let's go back and select that. Okay, so now what it will do is that it will pull up the sheet itself, and also all of the headers that we already added. I just made sure to add headers that is like related to the data that we are collecting in Aspot. So now let me just go over here and start mapping out the data. First, we have full name. And then we have email address, and then we have primary skills, we have interest. And by the way, guys, if you're using like other CRM platforms or other platforms where you store your leads, you can definitely do that instead of Google Sheet. So you just map it out just exactly as how I am mapping it out right now inside Google Sheet. All you need to do is set up the connection. And then the AI result is the prompt number one. Okay, cool. Now let's click save. And let's add another module. So for this last module right here, we'll be sending an email notification. So for that, we will be using the app Gmail. And then select an action. So our action is to send a new email. And let's just wait for that to load. So I already set up the Gmail connection, you guys, so that's support at aspot.ai. But if you're going to be using make.com, right now, if you haven't used it before, you will have to set up this connection. So all you need to do is, I think you'll just need to follow the prompts in here when it comes to setting up the connection. It's pretty straightforward. So now it will ask you to select where you want to send this email from. So to do that, you can either just type in the exact email where, for example, I want all of these submissions to be sent to this email. So now it will default to that. Or you can use the data that we got from the webhook from Aspot. So now if I put that right here, whoever fills out the form and enters their email address will be receiving this exact email right here. So that's the purpose of this recipient. The good thing is, I think you can also add yourself as a recipient in here. So you can just type in. So for example, you want a copy of this email also. You can do that right here. Great. And now for the subject line, let's just put your personalized business idea is here. And let's add the content. So when it comes to the content, you can use it. You can use HTML tags. You can, ask ChatGPT to like do the email formatting for you using HTML tags. So for now, this is how ours would look like. So hi, which is and then it will like put the full name. For Gmail setting up, did you use app password or regular password of Gmail? Actually, since I'm already logged in, like in my Chrome browser where I logged in make.com, I didn't need to like, put in the password. I mean, it just made the connection without having to put the password Chandrakant, if that's the question you were trying to ask. And then over here, so thanks for using the AI business model generator. Here's a copy of your personalized business ideas. And then the result, AI result that we got earlier, that's that's where that will be inserted. So you'll see that right here on this section. And then also the inputs earlier that we put, so the skills, interest, budget, time commitment. Sorry, I think we Okay, so that's mapped out correctly. Great. Now you can also put your what do they call this? Your signature in here if you want. I think this is good. I think it's time to start testing this. All right. So when you're testing this like automations, you can just click the run once in here. So basically when you click this, it will be listening for any data that will be coming to the webhook. And once it got that data, it will like walk it through, these steps, and then it will find if there's any errors within each and every step of this automation right here. So let's do that right now and test that. So run once. Now I'll fill out the form we built earlier. So let me just fill that out again. Let's put my name and then just the coding and then AI and tech. And then and with that and next. Okay, preparing results. So it hasn't gotten any data yet because it's still preparing results. Okay, there you go. So there's the AI result. Now let's take a look if it was able to get that. Hmm. Okay, it's not able to get that, but I think I made an error here. I think I'm the problem, you guys. I think I wasn't able to save the webhook earlier. So that's my fault. Let's do that again. Business idea generator and then put the URL. What is the URL? There you go. It's this one. And then make sure we got that in here. Connect the IntelliForm and just click create. Okay, cool. Now that we have that in there, let's try this again. And make this listen for any data that will come. Hopefully this will work. Let's try that. And back also. Okay. Okay, moment of truth. Sharing results. Okay, there you go. So as you can see, guys, it worked on this step. It was able to receive the data. And if you click here, you'll see what kind of data it was able to receive. And then over here on Google Sheet, it was able to enter those values that it received. So you'll see that right here. And then on Gmail, it got an error. So that means it was not able to send out an email to the recipient. So as you can see, the validation failed for one parameter, which is missing value of required parameter 2. So I think the problem is that wasn't able to get any email address, any valid email address to send the email to. So what we're going to do is try that again. And let's just make sure to enter our email. It's weird. Just give me 1 second, you guys. So email underscore address. So that's right. Let me just take a look at the form setup that we had. Okay, email underscore address. Let me just try this. Okay, so now it's listening for data. Okay, great. All right, so now that worked. So it says one in here. That means it was able to send one email. So you got your data from here. You got it logged to a Google Sheet, and then you were able to send an email, and it shows here what type of email was sent. Also the body content in here and the text. Okay, great. So yeah, I think that worked. And let's see here if there's any like questions. So what caused that error? I think, it's a great question, Dan. I think earlier because I was using the autofill option on my like when I was like completing the form. I think it wasn't able to really get the email address earlier. So now that I just manually entered my email address in here, I mean it worked right after that. So yep, I think that's the main reason for that error. And that's it. Any other questions? Maybe any like questions on what we built today, on the automation, on the IntelliForm, or just basically anything that you're building right now with Aspot. Okay, I think everyone's clear basically. So, the big takeaway here, guys, is how quickly we can turn a simple form into something that, feels like a custom AI tool. So with just a few questions, a prompt, a light automation, so you can actually create things that are actually useful for users and valuable for businesses. So hopefully this gives you some ideas for tools you can build for your own sites or for your clients using IntelliForm. I appreciate you guys for joining. And if you have, oh, thank you for the make walkthrough, share link. Okay, sorry. Let me just get that in the way. Let me copy the link. Okay, copy duplicate page link. There you go. Let me just put that in the chat. Duplicate link or IntelliForm. Awesome. So I just put that in the chat, you guys. Feel free to import it to your account. Thank you guys for joining. And if you have like oh, there's one. Can we have Google Sheets link also? Oh, the Google Sheet link um for the automation, right? Let me just get that right here. Sorry, let me just put this to viewer mode. Yep, that's good. And then guys, you can just like duplicate the form. Like on make a copy duplicate. There you go. So I just put that in the chat. All right. Anything else? Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much, Dawn. Thank you guys also for joining. If you have any questions regarding Asphalt, you know where to find me. And have a great Tuesday. Bye-bye.